The Vols are back.
Yeah. Money make the world go round. I'm trying to get it all right now. Everybody worry about the crown big. Look, homie, I'm the man right now. Talking to a peon, kind of time we on. Jump roll like the kind of take eons. Got a little buzz, it's time to go beyond. Can't look back, no time to hit rewind. Yeah, she wants to do S class. I'm like, boo, you must ask. They pour way too much in your glass. Just move your hips like a whole up class. Hit the gab, I talk that gap. Strut like up, man, I walk that shit. When I'm up, that's it. I'ma start living reckless. Get that bag, I'ma walk like this. Yeah, I'ma walk like this. Hit that lane, I'ma walk like this. Walk in the spot, but they all get lit. Told them on flow, let me talk my shit. Every song bang, when they drop in hit. Said on the man, post stop, no miss. Over your head, next time, don't slip. Play your part, better read that script. Yeah, I'ma walk like this.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who are watching this show live, you're in for a very, very special treat. I've got something very, very special that I'm dropping tonight. And you guys very well may be some of the first to receive some of this stuff, but we're going to talk about it in just a second. First of all, oi, fellow comrades and comradettes, or whoever you may be, it is Squidtard here, along with my boys, Mr. Wolverine, Mr. Lucas Sharp, as well as my boy, Mr. Julio Rodriguez. And welcome to another episode 83 of the Vol Star Podcast. Obviously, we have got some big-time stuff to go over today. First of all, the Base Vols, undefeated, swept Florida in the series. That's the one win over Florida that we've gotten this week, so you got to take that into consideration. Unfortunately, Tennessee basketball could not follow as we fell short in the tournament. That is okay, because how much does that matter compared to the big dance? So we got a lot to go over today. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. First of all, before anything else, how are my co-hosts doing tonight?
Yeah, I'm doing actually pretty good tonight. I mean, one of the few times I'm actually in a good mood.
That's good to hear. Julio, as for yourself, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing. That is true. I'm very much doing. All right, well, before anything else, there is something I'd like to present to you guys. And for those of you that we got 22 people in the chat, first of all, if you haven't already, I would really appreciate if you guys would go to the thumbs up button and hit that thumbs up. It helps out the channel, and it does a whole lot for me. You know what else helps out the channel? What I'm about to drop for you guys. This was very highly requested, not just by you guys, but for everybody here on Squidtard and Squidtard Sports. This is the first day in my 8 to 9 years here on YouTube that I'm finally doing this. For the first time ever, and I think I already told you guys about it before we started the stream. For the first time ever here on Squidtard/Squidtard Sports, we're dropping merch. Official merch. Official Squidtard merch. You heard it here. Official Squidtard merch. And I know a lot of you guys have been waiting on it. And this is going to be a first come, first serve type of thing. The first 10 people to order merch from the Squidtard store. There's not a lot of options on there, but I do have a few things that you guys will like. I've got an orange shirt, orange sweatshirt. The Squidtard logo's on it. And a lot of you requested the cool and good hat. And that's on there too. So I'm going to drop this right here. The first 10 people to order off the Squidtard store will receive a 25% off promo code. That promo code, I will drop it in the chat right after I drop this link. So here is the link to the official Squidtard shop. And here is the promo code. Tardaria, all caps. The promo code is all caps Tardaria. 25% off all the purchases for the first 10 people who order. So it's a first come, first serve type of thing. Get the merch as soon as you can get it. There you go. So there's the official merch drop. You guys gonna order anything?
I don't know. It looks kind of expensive.
Are you waiting for me to drop the Lucas Sharp shirt? with your face
Well,
on.
let's
angry
be
face.
honest here. Nobody wants to see merch of me. Let's be honest here.
Ouch.
Nobody wants to see merch of me. I mean, don't spend money on me, guys. I mean, Squidtard does most of the work here. He puts in more work than I do. So, you don't want merch of me.
I can assure you that regardless of that, people will want merch of you because it's funny to see your angry face, and I can imagine walking down the street with the guy at the hoodie of your face on. but you would get NIL from that for official Lucas Sharp NIL. So yeah.
Like I said before the stream, at least 10%.
10%. All right, we can work with that. The clown, there is no clown of the week hat available, but I'll work on that midway through the stream, and hopefully we'll get that done. I'll probably finish it up after the stream. So I've only got about 5 or 6 different items on there right now. So this is for those of you guys who just really, really wanted some merch. I dropped pretty much the most requested ideals of merchandise. So there you go. If you want it, be my guest. If you don't, just wait until something else comes out, and I'll make sure to update you guys on it. All right, then. Well, of course, something else I'm about to drop. This is no merchandise. This is actually something completely unrelated to that, but it does pertain to sports. This is the, and I know obviously you guys have been requesting this too, and I'm going to drop it in the chat momentarily. This is the official Squidtard Tardarian bracket for March Madness. So I'm going to drop this in the chat as well. Get on that and put your bracket in, because there's a promo for that too. The winner of the Tardarian bracket gets to receive one piece of merch, specifically the Cool and Good hat. You can receive a Cool and Good hat for free. No charge. So I would highly recommend that you invest your time into making a bracket on the Tardarian bracket, because the winner will receive a Cool and Good hat for free. There you go.
That's pretty cool. But here, I have a question about the Cool and Good hat. So is it going to be like your Cool and Good hat, or is like the letters actually going to be like on the hat? Because
it's like it's the Cool and Good. It's got the green on it, the Cool and Good. Like the design is there.
Oh, okay.
Exactly as my hat. Here, let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. It'll look not exact, but near identical to this. The Cool and Good will be written out just like this. So, if that makes sense.
You need to make an opposite hat that says lame and bad.
Yeah. All right, now then, the final thing before we get into our topics for today, we got to introduce our special guest onto the show. He's been waiting in the back room for a good 10 minutes. Now that I've done my merch drop, I can bring him on the stream. A lot of you know him. He's a fellow LSU man. Yes, that's right, an LSU Tiger man. Officially one of the 2 teams left out of March Madness from the SEC. Oh, the password for the group. My bad. I'll bring that out in just a second as soon as I introduce my special guest, my special co-host. He's not really a co-host, he's a guest. But nonetheless, without further ado, we'll bring him onto the stream. So welcome to the Squidtard podcast, the Volstar podcast, Mr. Ian the Hyper. What's going on, buddy?
Not much, man. You didn't have to mention about us being left out.
I mean, it's kind of important to know.
But
know.
Yeah. I was joking. You could say that.
I mean, what else can you say?
Yeah, our men's team sucks, but hey, at least we got women's basketball.
That is true. You do have women's basketball. That is for certain. Now, excuse me, I'm going to try and find this bracket code real quick. You should be able to get into it without a password, though. That's the thing. You guys were able to get into it without a passcode. I dropped the link and everything. Obviously, you're able to do that, then yeah.
Yeah. They let the entire SEC in, but LSU got left out. But so did South Carolina.
Yeah. And then South Carolina was so terrible, they didn't even bother to show up for the NIT. They were like, no, we're too good for the NIT.
Same with LSU. Same with LSU. They declined a bid to the NIT as well.
Yeah, I knew we were going to get our ass kicked, so.
What Julio said before the stream started was super funny. You want to say that again, Julio? About who LSU should hire?
Oh yeah, I said they should hire that. What's the McNeese State coach name? Will
I
Wade.
think
Something like that guy.
yeah, something like I think it's Will Wade. I think that's what his name is. I heard he's doing really good at McNeese. He has him in the tournament for the second year in a row.
Even Odd, to answer, we got a lot of people in the chat. Even Odd asked about the shirt that isn't orange. The shirt comes in all kinds of different colors, so if you don't like the orange, you can choose a different one. To explain that. Yeah. All right then. Well, let me see. Okay. Okay, we're good. Everybody's in. Nobody needs a password. That's good. All right then. Well, let's go ahead and get on with the show, shall we? Is that Julio's mic?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
probably
Dang it,
mine
I thought
again.
we fixed that.
Yeah, I thought we did too.
Yeah, it's going beep boop again. I guess it just doesn't like you or something. Alrighty
That's
then.
sad.
Well, first let's talk about. We're gonna go down the list here. First off, there is no new news about football this week. So for those of you wanting to hear about football, sorry to inform you, but you've come onto the show for nothing other than the merch because there is nothing new going on with football this week.
Yeah, football's been basically over for like a month or two now.
Yeah, you got to wait until next month before we hear about football news. That's when spring practice starts.
Yeah, don't tell that to Georgia. Georgia fans, for them, football is the only thing they've got. In fact, we were talking about basketball. I saw this tweet by this one guy, this one Georgia fan that said, all these Alabama, Auburn, Tennessee fans are talking about basketball in the middle of March. I guess Kirby Smart's living rent-free in their head. They killed off their football program. It's March. It's March at Dingleberry. There is no football. These people, man. Anyway.
Hey,
Georgia fans are only relevant about one sport, and that is being football.
Yeah. It's like the song. You're only relevant in one sport. And we'll see you again in 8 months.
All right.
Yes.
All right, then. Well, let's go ahead and move over to softball real quick. Nothing out of the ordinary there for the most part. Tennessee softball taking care of business per the norm. And now this is partly my fault, but I didn't really have many softball notes set up for you guys today. So the best thing I can do to really sort of remedy that is by taking a deep dive into who they've played on their schedule. You guys got any updates for me that I haven't touched on yet or am not going to touch on?
Not really, to be
Nah.
honest with you.
I do like to say one thing though. Speaking of softball, so for my high school, I am officially my high school softball stadium announcer.
Nice.
Of course, I told Lucas before, but I haven't told y'all guys.
That's goated. Can we get a Squidtard merch shout out over there? I'll pay you NIL for it.
Imagine NIL for high school.
Yes. Yes, of course. All right. Well, here's your softball news for the week. Of course, guess what? Tennessee did exactly what they do and manhandled another group of teams. Went out there and beat Duke 1-0 in that game. And then guess what? We played UConn in a series and swept them. We swept them so good that there's 2 Julios in the back room. So we'll remove this one and add the other one in.
All right,
Hey.
can y'all hear me? Sorry,
Yes.
my thing.
Yeah.
I don't know for
Yeah,
some
we can hear
reason
you.
it kicked me out.
Yeah, we can hear you, and I don't think there was an echo that time.
That's good to hear.
But yeah, I was just gonna say this will be the first time we beat UConn in a sport this year.
That's you said it, not me. You said it, not me. All right.
Looking at you, Gino.
Yeah. Speaking of which, not specifically UConn, but I cannot speak today. Speaking of sweeps in the sports, let's talk about baseball, shall we? What a week for the baseball team. Everybody and their grandma, including us, everyone thought that this was going to be it, that this was going to be the moment that Tennessee's humongous winning streak comes to a close. Well, apparently not, as Tennessee goes up against the Florida Gators, one of the top teams in the country, and destroys them. 5-3 in the first game, 10-0 in the second, and then 7-4 in the third. Florida took a big lead in that third one too, and Tennessee still came back and got the dub over them. We beat them so bad that finally all of these major media networks finally had to cave and put Tennessee in as that number one team over LSU. So, sorry, Ian.
Yeah, I honestly got to agree with that. Y'all are undefeated. We're not. We lost to freaking Omaha of all teams, even though we won that series. Freaking Omaha.
Omaha.
Like, bro, this ain't the World Series.
Yeah, you're supposed to lose in Omaha, not lose to Omaha.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's real tough. So, LSU's still
At least
a really
we won
good
the
team,
series,
though.
though.
Yeah, LSU's
Yeah,
still a
at least
really, really
we won.
good team, and we don't play
both
y'all.
Tennessee and LSU. Yeah, both Tennessee and LSU have 20 wins, except we have a loss. Y'all don't.
April.
I was gonna.
Oh, you go.
And there goes Julio's mic again.
I was gonna joke and say maybe St. John's will be losing to Omaha Club.
Yeah,
Oh,
probably. Yo, man, Connor, thank you for the $10 super chat. He says, don't forget LSU 7 natties.
At least we have more natties, okay?
See that you made my point right there. That
Hey, but USC has 12 though.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
We may not have the most, but at least we have a lot of natties.
That certainly must mean that USC is the best baseball program today in the current year.
Yeah, I
Also,
guess so.
Fordham has the most wins.
Yeah, welcome to the current year.
Yeah. Fordham baseball program, sir. Yeah. But yeah, this baseball team, what can I say? This baseball team's been playing really good. I mean, I'm shocked by how good we looked against Florida. Third game, I thought we were going to lose. We was down 4-1. A lot of people were pissed at Tony V because he pulled one of our pitcher who was playing really well, and he put in somebody else. And everybody got mad about that. They was like, why is Tony V, one of the greatest coaches in college baseball, making this kind of move? And then, of course, Tennessee came back and won. And then somebody was like, this is why Tony Vitello is a national championship winning coach, and I'm not.
Bro's got the big brain.
Yeah, like people need to stop questioning Tony Vitello. He won a national championship. He knows what he's doing.
Right. One thing I will say that I think makes this team probably even more dangerous than our teams the past couple years is that they can actually field consistently for the most part. Because I feel like in 2022 and especially last year, sometimes our fielding was horrible. I mean, it was good. They would make plays, but they would also make really dumb mistakes, which I understand everyone does. But I feel like Tennessee always had, just especially in Omaha, especially in 2023, and then in the Super Regional in 2022, Cortland Lawson almost drove me up a wall in 2022 versus Notre Dame.
Alabama ain't natties, buddy. This is baseball.
You mean you got a good point there. Can't argue with that.
Yeah,
but
that's all I can think about is football. But nonetheless.
But that's all I was gonna say is that I think, especially another thing that makes this team dangerous too, is that we can also score without just hitting a home run. We can actually get like a single, a double, a triple. Like we can actually do it just without hitting a home run.
Or we can just.
Home runs are great, and I love them, but
we can put everybody on. We can put everybody on the bases and then hit a home run.
Yeah.
8 grand slams. Yeah, we haven't had a grand slam in quite a bit though, but it's fine. I mean, we're winning. We're undefeated. What can I say? 22-game winning streak if you want to count the 2 games against Texas A&M in the College World Series final. I mean, playing really good ball right now.
Do they count that toward this year?
I would imagine so. I mean, why wouldn't they?
Well, they don't count it towards this year, but they count it towards our winning streak overall.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's what I was wondering for like the NCAA record, because I was telling Lucas that if we can match our SEC record, starting streak, which was 12-0 in 2022, if we can match that and then also win all of our midweeks, I think that would put us at 33. And so technically If we got to that point, that would make us, well, like I said, 33, but that would also put us over because of the 2 wins last year. But we would also have to beat Ole Miss in 2 games to break it, and then at least one to tie it.
Yeah.
Like I
yeah.
said, that's a hypothetical. That's way ahead.
As we
But,
all
Oh, yeah.
know from here, the road gets way tougher down the stretch because we've got ETSU on Tuesday, and then starting on Thursday, we've got the big series coming up in Tuscaloosa against top 10 Alabama. So that is going to be a very, very tough stretch.
I will
Yeah.
say, don't sleep on our midweeks because ETSU is also a really good team that
Oh, yeah,
knows
Yeah,
how
I
to
know.
get
They
home
almost,
runs.
they almost beat Georgia. ETSU did. They're a good team.
Yeah. Also, don't sleep on Tennessee Tech. We all know what happened last time. We had a really good team and we played Tennessee Tech.
While we're
Bro,
at
I
it,
mean,
don't
I
sleep
just,
on any of these
Yeah.
teams.
Yeah. Well, I know. And then also Lipscomb, they beat us last year. So,
imagine we head into the Tennessee Tech game undefeated, and Tennessee Tech ends our undefeated season.
That would happen right before the series versus Texas A&M. That would think about it. That game is on April Fool's Day, so that would be like the ultimate April Fool's prank. April Fools, you thought we were gonna have an undefeated season? Nope, Tennessee Tech. Yeah.
At
Tennessee
least
Tech
y'all
might
get
got
to keep
beat.
your undefeated season. We got our undefeated season ended by Omaha.
hey, at least I won't be in the country for that if that happens.
Yeah. Not to
Yeah.
rag on Goob any further, but at least we're not Texas A&M because they've gone from one of the most dominant teams in the sport to falling completely out of the top 25. So
Yeah, they fell out of the top 25, and yet somehow they're still too highly ranked. Like, I don't know
Ouch.
how it's possible.
Ouch. It's just like football, ain't it? It's just like football. You know, they've already got A&M ranked after having a 6-7 or an 8-5 season. Oh, Texas A&M got to be in the rankings. Why? Oh, they just got to be there. They didn't really do anything, but there they are. There they are for no reason. There's other examples, but they're definitely one of the high factors in that one.
Yeah, and as Connor said, Whittle Park, it doesn't count. Whittle Park.
Lowly Park.
Where we talk.
All right. Well, baseball will continue to be dominant. Hopefully, we'll keep our eye on that. But as we all know, the main focus this week and for weeks onward is going to be on the basketball teams because holy hell, it's about to be a chaotic rest of the month for all of us here. First off,
It's March. Expect the unexpected.
What he said. But let's talk about the women's bracket first because where we left off with the Lady Vols is their loss, of course, in the SEC tournament. They're coming in as a number 5 seed over in the Birmingham region in the ladies tournament, and they're set off to face against 12 seed South Florida. This matchup is scheduled to take place in Columbus, Ohio on Friday, March the 21st. And you couldn't have set that up worse because I remember the last time we went to Columbus on the 21st of the month, and we saw how that ended up. So, personally to me, I hope this time goes a whole lot better. Way better. Speaking of Ohio State, the victor of this game will go on to face the winner of Ohio State versus Montana State. So, again, couldn't have drawn that up any worse than what we did. But hopefully the Vols live up to our expectations.
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, it's definitely going to – I feel like that's definitely a tough first-round matchup because I've heard quite a bit of good things about South Florida when it comes to women's basketball. We should win, but I wouldn't be surprised if we found a way to lose that game.
Right. Well, hopefully we don't, because then it'll be Kelly Harper all over again. Fire her ass! She can't coach in the big ones. Fire her ass! You got fire. We gotta get Mommy Miller. Dude. So it's gonna be all
Literally what Connor's been saying the last times me, Lucas, and him were in a VC.
We want change. We want change.
Right.
We want change.
It's gonna be that.
Meanwhile, for us, we're taking on San Diego State. If this was men's basketball, we definitely lose to them. But women's basketball, this will be a tough one.
I certainly like your odds in that one.
Hmm.
Yeah, not gonna
I don't want
lie.
to sleep on San Diego State too much. They're a basketball school.
Yeah. I was just gonna say, not gonna lie, this is one of the few women's tournaments where it feels like more than 4 teams could actually win the national championship. Because it feels like every year in women's basketball, it's only like a few teams, like like a South Carolina, LSU, or an Iowa. This year, there's a bunch of teams that could possibly win it this year in women's.
That is right.
Well, I feel like the talent's finally starting to spread out a bit, kind of like it is in the men's.
Yes,
It
that
better not be
talent
South
fee.
Carolina again.
The delicious talent fee.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah, I've yet to fill out a women's bracket. I don't know who I'd pick to win it all. I mean, there's UCLA, USC, South Carolina, Notre Dame could possibly make a run. I mean,
Madness is one place
Texas.
Oh yeah, I forgot about Texas.
Well, March Madness is one place where a celebrity that knows nothing about basketball could beat you in predictions. So, just pick whoever. Go with your gut. That's the best thing I can say. Because
I was telling Lucas about this, but whenever I was filling out a men's bracket just for fun, I didn't submit it. I was just doing it because I was bored late at night last night. For some reason, I had Yale going to the Elite Eight. I don't know why.
You best believe if Yale takes on Auburn, they're beating them again.
The Ivy League schools, they don't mess around.
Yeah.
If Yale takes on Auburn, I am picking Yale 100 times out of 100 because Yale owns Auburn, bro.
For funny thing,
Ivy League, the best conference in the nation, sir.
Funny thing though, I had Yale beating Auburn in the Sweet 16 to go to the Elite Eight.
Smart choice. Yale owns them.
Jemai Mashak Stan says, we need to deal with the Rick Barnes haters. I get his weird tournament losses, but he's given us more success than any other coach combined, even more than Bruce. Yeah, that's the thing. Everybody seemingly forgot about the fact that we beat Auburn in the tournament. Everybody single-handedly forgot about that.
Yeah.
Another thing I will say, though, is that with Bruce, though, is that he also still hasn't won a championship. Yeah, he goes far in the tournament, but he always loses in what is it, usually around the Sweet 16?
Yeah.
It ain't like Bruce Pearl is Jay Wright, who just wins championships, or Dan Hurley, who just blows teams out in the tournament.
Right. Ghost of a Flea says Georgia, or he's talking about football. I got Georgia over Tennessee and Ohio State winning the Natty again. Great news. Next thing you're going to tell me is that I get run over by a car. All right. Let's see. Bradley Warwick, UConn's men's three-peat as they beat Duke by 30, and Cooper Flagg stays in college but transfers at UConn to chase rings. Yeah, no. I don't think UConn's running it back. They just don't.
No. I could see. Yeah, I could see UConn beating Oklahoma. They're not beating Florida. Florida's playing too good right now.
I remember I had UConn making the Final Four, but then losing to St. John's.
Wait, this year?
Yeah, I don't know why. I just trust Dan Hurley. Call me crazy.
I guess so. It's not the craziest thing I've ever heard. If they get hot, then I could definitely see him moving into there. But I don't know. That just seems too hot for me.
I think I had Duke beating St. John's in the championship in that one. I think I had Duke beating us in the Final Four.
Well, real quick, before we move on to the bracket and speak about that any further, let's talk about what Tennessee's done over this past week. Just focus on them real quick. So this is, obviously we're going to talk about the wins over Texas and Auburn in the tournament because that was a really, really good performance by us. The Florida loss stung, but, we look good at a time that we really needed to get good. Jordan Gainey has finally popped off a season-high 24 points. Sakai Ziegler had 23 points. This is the Florida game I'm talking about. And, this was a good performance overall in the tournament. Yes, we didn't win it, but we damn well got far. And that's important because that sets up what could very well be a great performance in March. And we've got a good setup for where we're at against the Wofford Terriers. If you're a South Carolina man, at least you're getting represented somewhere. So
Yeah, not gonna lie. By the looks of it, it's probably a good thing we lost in the SEC tournament championship because we're not gonna lie, it looks like Florida got a tougher draw than us. Well, not in the first round, but the bracket, full entire region wise.
I swear, if we lose to Wofford in that stupid,
We're not
Stop.
losing to
That's doomer
Wofford.
talk.
I don't see y'all losing to Wofford.
Yeah,
I
come
do
on,
not see
dude.
y'all losing.
That's
Wofford
doomer
is-
talk.
Wofford is only like 5 wins above 500. They're not beating us.
Yeah, I don't give a damn about waffle fries. They ain't beating us. They are not beating us. I can assure you that the least if we're going
Funny
down
enough, do you
anywhere,
know
it's gonna
where
be somewhere in
Wofford
the
is
Sweet
located?
16.
Wofford is located in South Carolina, I believe.
But do you know what city in South Carolina?
Let me guess. Wofford, South Carolina.
No, Spartanburg.
What's the
What's so great about Spartanburg, bro?
I'm
Do
waiting
you,
for the
do,
punchline.
no, do you not remember the Clemson dude that got on Dabo?
Oh,
Okay.
Tyler from Spartanburg. Yes.
Yeah.
The expectation is whatever the shit he said.
Tyler from Spartanburg becomes a Wofford fan, and he talks crap about the Wofford head coach, and he comes out and beats Tennessee.
Yes, one of my favorite Dabo Sweeney quotes of all time. The expectation is what I forgot it again. It's the expectation is equal to the appreciation. It's something like that. I still don't know what the shit it means, but it's still funny.
Yeah, he was like, "You're the problem, Tyler. It's your fault we suck."
God. Oh man. I hope
I'm
Dabo
sorry,
never retires.
No, I'm sorry. I had to bring that up just because I remember they were located there. Because it always makes me laugh when
Okay,
I
I
think
got
about
it
that
now.
ball.
I got it now. The expectation is greater, not equal, but greater than the appreciation. That was the quote. Again, that doesn't change the fact that I don't know what the hell it means, but again, it's still funny. So
Yeah, but yeah, I was just gonna say, does it also worry anyone that Kentucky and Purdue is in our freaking region?
I'm worried more about Kentucky. Excuse me. I'm more worried about Kentucky than I am Purdue.
I think Purdue. I think hot take. I think Purdue gets eliminated by High Point.
I think they will too. High Point's really good. For a mid-major, at least. I got High Point taking out the Boilermakers.
I would personally love that though, because it's definitely not like I'm not worried about Purdue. We've seen what they've done to us in past seasons. I want Purdue to go down, but obviously this Purdue team is way lesser than the teams that have beaten us in the tournament.
Yeah,
Unlike that Purdue team that lost to Fairleigh Dickinson.
The only other team that I think that a lot of people are overlooking is the 1 seed in our bracket. Houston is probably the second most dangerous team right now.
Oh
yeah.
Oh yeah, I have Houston making the Final Four.
It's going to be really tough to get past them.
Yeah, Houston, they got a bit. Not gonna lie, they got a bit of a tough draw because if you think about it, they get past their first round and then they're probably gonna have to play a Gonzaga team who is extremely hot right now. Because Gonzaga's dangerous right now, man. Houston could very well lose that game.
Yeah, you know
against
what?
Gonzaga.
Julio, you never got the chance to do your bracket, right?
No, not the one. No.
Okay, that's fine. Lucas and Ian were able to do their brackets, so I think it's about time we go ahead and take a look at those. Can I look at your brackets, or can I? I guess I can't. Crap. Okay, I guess you guys can tell me if you remember who won.
Oh yeah, let me see if I can pull it up on my phone.
Yeah, I'm loading mine.
Yeah.
I don't know
care if you can't, but...
which one of y'all has the Volstar Podcast Twitter account. I can just tweet it out after.
Isn't that you, Lucas?
Yeah, but I changed it.
You would.
No, didn't you change it to Kirk Herbstreit?
Yeah, I changed it to Kirk Herbstreit to troll Florida State fans.
I mean, you can just probably
funny,
just
yeah,
change it back, and then I'll just tweet it out or whatever.
But yeah, here's my bracket. Let me see if I can.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need to show it on the phone. You can just tell me as we progress through this, because we're gonna go through my bracket live. I haven't done it yet.
Okay.
So
Uh,
I've got it pulled up on the
All
screen.
right, who's gonna go first?
I got it right here. Hold up. Beautiful. All right. So we're gonna start out. I guess we'll start out with the South and then just go down the list. For those of you who are curious, I am actually working on a March Madness video, kind of like what I did for the college football playoffs. I'm gonna go through each and every team and I'm gonna analyze them to the best of my ability. Now I don't know nearly as much about every team like I do college football, but
oh, you're trying to be a Cole Adams?
I'm trying to do something. I don't know what the hell you mean by Cole Adams, but I'm trying to do.
You don't know who Cole Adams is?
That's what I care about. All right. Let's go ahead and get into this, guys. So we're gonna start out obviously in the South. Auburn versus either Alabama State or St. Francis, and I'm gonna tell you right now, I've got Auburn.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah, it's a
I got
no-brainer.
Auburn.
I got Auburn.
I will say, though, for the play-in game, I'd probably take St. Francis.
All right. Well, then we got Louisville and
Yes, sir.
Creighton. Louisville and Creighton. This is a tough one here, but I think right now, looking from what I've seen, I think Creighton's the hotter team.
Yeah, I got Creighton.
I got Creighton as well, but I could see that game going either way.
Anthony, there's no password for the league. You can get in without a password. All right, Michigan versus San Diego. I'm going Michigan here. I think the Wolverines have looked really, really good, and they're the Big Ten champions. So
Yeah,
I got Michigan.
Yeah,
They better
I
not
got-
Michigan it though.
Yeah, I got Michigan as well. I was tempted to take UC San Diego. They won their conference, the Big West, fairly easily, and they only got 4 losses. I still took Michigan, though, but they should definitely not take UC San Diego for granted.
Yeah. Now, I do want to mention that I think this is going to be one that really either ages well or rages terror. You get the idea. Creighton and Louisville are both two really good teams right now. Louisville, obviously, runner-up in the ACC championship, put up a fight against Duke, so they could very well run away with it. But we'll see. We'll see. All right. Anyway. Moving on, Texas A&M versus Yale. A&M, a really good team, but has looked a little soft as of recently. And like I mentioned earlier in the stream, the Ivy League teams are the ones you really have to watch out for. This is going to be my first major upset. I've got Yale taking over Texas A&M.
Same,
man. Yale's playing good basketball right now.
Damn, all three of us pick an upset. That's crazy.
Yeah, Anthony, use the link. You should be able to get in there without a passcode.
Man, we have yet to have a shit or what?
What?
Okay.
What?
Yeah, we have yet to have a disagreement. That's what I meant to say.
All right. Anyway, Ole Miss versus either San Diego State or North Carolina. And if the basketball gods exist like they do the football gods, North Carolina will lose because they shouldn't even be in here in the first place. And with them losing, I'd say it'd be Ole Miss versus San Diego State. I'm still taking the Rebels to move on.
I'm also taking Ole Miss.
First off, I want to say UNC shouldn't have gotten in the tournament in the first place. Their resume is absolutely abysmal. It should have been West Virginia in there. So I'm taking Ole Miss, though. For the play-in, I'd probably take North Carolina. It doesn't even matter. Ole Miss, I think I got them winning.
Right. Okay, next up, we got Iowa State, number 3 Iowa State versus 14th seed Lipscomb. And a lot of you may not know this, but Lipscomb is one of the many, many Tennessee teams participating here in this tournament. And Iowa State has had a pretty good year, but kind of like Texas A&M, they've looked a little cold as of recently. And once again, I'm taking the upset. This is the biggest one I've got so far. I'm taking Lipscomb to beat Iowa State.
This is our first disagreement. I got Iowa State. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm rooting for you, Lipscomb. I always root for, all the Tennessee teams besides Memphis and Vandy for obvious reasons. I'm rooting for you, Lipscomb, but I just don't see it.
I agree with Lucas. I'm taking Iowa State.
Gotcha. All right, next up on the list, we got Marquette and New Mexico. Marquette, a little bit of an offseason for what they've been recently having. New Mexico, on the other hand, is a team that has not been back here in a very long time. They've won their conference the first time, I think, in 35 years. This is a Cinderella season for New Mexico. Give me the Lobos.
This is another time we disagree. I got Marquette in this one. I like how they've been playing as of late.
I also have to agree with Lucas on this one. I got Marquette.
Gotcha. All right, then. Next up, Michigan State and Bryant. Whoever Bryant is, we have no clue, but Michigan State, I've got them. I got the Spartans winning this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michigan State.
Gotcha. All right, on to the West. And no doubt here, the hottest team in the nation, the Florida Gators, they're going to roll over Norfolk State.
Yeah, I got Florida State as well.
Florida State.
Or Florida, whatever.
Yeah, I got Florida.
If it was Florida State, they'd obviously lose to a 16 seed. Good lord.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to make.
Yeah, if this was Florida State going up against Norfolk State, I'd pick Norfolk.
Yeah, Meshack Stan, you got to make an account to get in, but you don't need a password for it. All right, next up, we got UConn and Oklahoma. So this is a tough one, too. I think both of these teams have had their ups and downs this season. Definitely UConn, obviously, because this is way off from what they're used to. Kind of a big fall-off for them. But I do think they're the more talented team. I think Oklahoma is just a...
I just filled out my bracket the same way I did last night. So there you go. You can look through mine if you want.
Okay, I'm glad you got to tell us that. Anyway, I'm taking the Huskies.
Same. UConn, they're gonna win, and their fans are gonna keep the three-peat dreams and hopes alive.
Now, while
I also got UConn.
Gotcha.
But I think they'll eventually flop their three-peat dreams. They're gonna end up like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, keep in mind this matchup here. This might be a really, really good game. We'll talk about that momentarily. All right, Memphis versus Colorado State. Well, Memphis is the only team from the state that I'm actually other than Vanderbilt, that I'm actively rooting to lose. But I still think Memphis is the better team in this matchup. Give me them to win.
Yeah, I got Memphis as well, but Colorado State, they're a good team. They won the Mountain West. They're playing good basketball right now. I wouldn't be shocked if Colorado State pulled that one off, but yeah, I got Memphis.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I got Memphis as well.
Gotcha.
By the way, I just realized me and Lucas have never had a disagreement so far.
This is probably where we're probably about to have our disagreement with
Maybe
Maryland
so.
and Grand Canyon.
Yeah, talking about that, Fear the Turtles. Give me Maryland.
Give me Grand Canyon, baby. Give me the Antelopes.
And yet you'd said we would have a disagreement, but no, I also got Grand Canyon.
Wow. How about that?
I had Maryland in mine.
All right.
I had Colorado State over Memphis though.
Gotcha. I can't blame you for that. All right, next up, Missouri versus Drake. Now, Missouri, another team that's kind of been cold as of recently. Drake looks like a team that could potentially get the job done here. I'm going to pick Drake over Missouri, and if this holds true, I truly do hope that Eli Drakewitz is in attendance.
Yep, another agreement. I got Drake. They're my Cinderella.
Yep, I'm going to have to go against Eli Drakewitz and take Drake.
Hell yeah.
Julio, who you got?
In this one, I had Drake. I don't know. I just think Drake can compete with him also because Drake plays at a snail's pace and kind of lulls everyone to sleep. So
Yeah, that's funny. All right, next up we got Texas Tech and UNC Wilmington. Give me the Red Raiders. They're one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
Yeah, same. I got the Red Raiders.
So Texas Tech was the first college to send me college mail. And besides that, I'm picking them to win this
Yeah,
game.
now you can't go against them for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
All right, next up we got, how about this one? The Kansas Jayhawks versus Pig Time. Tough matchup here. Arkansas, while they haven't been the best, they're still a decent team. The Kansas Jayhawks, sort of the same thing. Not the best year for them, but hey, they're a pretty good team. Kansas is a March Madness team, sir. Give me the Jayhawks.
I've got only two words to say. John Calipari. Give me Kansas.
That's exactly why I picked Kansas, by the way, because John Calipari has lost his luster in March as of recent.
That's funny.
Hate me all you want for this, but pig.
Oh, pig time. Wow.
Yeah, I'm taking Arkansas.
All right, moving on. We got St. John's and Omaha. And no, this is not as in Omaha. This is the university, not the literal stadium. If it was, then I'd pick Omaha all day, but it's not. So St. John's, I'm picking them to get the dub.
Yeah, St. John's playing some pretty good ball right now. Gotta take them, man.
Yeah, if this was baseball, I would pick Omaha since they beat us. But no, give me St. John's.
Julio?
I guess.
Sorry. St. John's. I don't particularly think it's close. Maybe I'm wrong because March, but
Right. Okay. Well, there's our South and our West. Now, hold on. Let me I got to transition here. I got to figure out how to do that real fast. Give me a second. I'm a whiz with technology, as you can tell. I don't think it's gonna let me. I'm trying to zoom back in, but I don't think it's gonna let me, which kind of sucks. Dang it, man! Why they gotta be like that? Oh well, not much you can do about that. I guess we'll just have to view it. You have to get your telescope out to see it, but I'll try my best to explain it as thorough as I can to the rest of y'all.
All right.
You're like, come on, man. Why can't you let me zoom into to this one specific corner? That's stupid and dumb and possibly even stupid. All right, I'll share it to you guys again. Bam. All right, here we go. Now starting up from the East bracket, we got Duke, the Duke Blue Devils versus one of these other teams that I don't really remember. So Blue Devils
American
all the
University.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
American University. Like what? American Airlines, American Express, American Psycho? Like what?
American Psycho. But yeah, all seriousness, Duke should win this game. Cooper Flag expected to come back for the NCAA tournament, which I'm expecting him to be fully healthy. If I had to pick the playing game, I'd probably take American. I think they're the better team than Mount St. Mary's, but of course it don't matter. Duke should win that game nonetheless.
American. Fuck no, give me Duke.
Damn. All right.
Duke.
Next up, we got the Cowbell College going up against the Baylor Bears. Both two pretty good teams that I think can make some noise if they get hot here, but they've got a tough draw. Despite that, though, this game is going to be I think this will be a really close one, but I've got Baylor edging it out over Mississippi State.
I got Mississippi State. Josh Hubbard, I think he's going to find a way to get this done.
I agree with Squid on this one. Give me Baylor.
Yeah, I had Baylor mostly just because I think I trust Baylor's head coach more. Bryce Drew, I think. Ain't that his name? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think, yeah. All right, whatever. Moving on to the next game between Oregon and Liberty.
Yep. The Oregon Ducks and the Liberty Flames. Oregon has done pretty well in the Big Ten their first year. Not a bad season for them, but I think they've got a really tough draw here because Liberty is a team that I think has gotten hot in the right spot, and they have the credentials to take care of business here. So give me the Flames with the big upset.
Agreed. Liberty.
Give me Liberty or give me a first-round elimination.
I think I had Oregon here, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I could see Liberty doing something in this game, but I'm going to say this is going to end up like the 2023-24 Fiesta Bowl. Give me Oregon.
Gotcha. All right, next up we got Arizona and Akron. And Akron is a team that could potentially put Arizona in a really tough spot. But Arizona hasn't exactly gotten cold. They went pretty far in their tournament. This is going to be a close game, but I've got Arizona winning.
Same. I got Arizona.
Yeah, I had Arizona mostly just because I think Akron's a good team. I just don't think they have the height and athleticism to compete with Arizona. That's just my opinion, but
Yeah, I also got Arizona winning this.
Gotcha. All right, next up we got BYU and VCU. And BYU, I'm telling you right now, has the potential to be one of the most dangerous teams in this entire bracket because they have one of the most lethal offenses in the country, and it could get at its peak going into this matchup. So give me the Cougars over VCU.
You know, I feel like this game could go either way. Both teams are playing pretty good, but not gonna lie, I've been impressed with VCU. I think they're playing really good at the right time. Give me Virginia Commonwealth.
well, yeah, I have VCU too because you know what happened last time they had an 11 seed.
Oh yeah, they made the Final Four.
Yeah, I think stuff's about to repeat. Give me VCU.
Well, we'll see. We'll see if my prediction is right. All right, next up, Wisconsin and Montana. Well, the Badgers are going to be a tough fight for anybody in this division, especially since they are the Big Ten runner-ups after all. So you already know that they're a hot team this time. Montana, this is the only time that Montana will be relevant at any point in the history of history. But
hey, Montana has a national championship, sir, in basketball.
How relevant is that?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, man, I was just
Wisconsin.
Yeah, same. I got Wisconsin. They're playing really good ball right now.
Yeah, I had Wisconsin too. I just had to make that joke because they won one in I think it was like the 40s or 50s.
Call me crazy if you want, but I'm taking Montana in an upset.
All right.
Okay.
That's a good one right there. All right, next up, Vanderbilt and St. Mary's. St. Mary's a pretty good team, going to be a tough draw for anybody, but you know who's a really tough draw as well? A hot Vanderbilt Commodores team, and if they do get hot, I expect they'll roll over St. Mary's, and I don't think they'll do just that, but I think they're going to win outright. Give me the Commodores.
I got St. Mary's. I feel like they're still playing good, even though they lost to Gonzaga in the WCC championship tournament game. I believe in St. Mary's to get the job done. And Vanderbilt, they haven't won a tournament game in like a million years. So,
yeah, I had Vanderbilt. I don't know. I just feel like Vanderbilt is just. I don't know. I just feel like they're posed to finally break that streak of not winning any tournament games.
All right, next up we got.
Hang on, I haven't made my pick yet. Give me St. Mary's. Give me St. Mary's.
Gotcha. Okay. The way you advertised that, you sound like you were gonna. You're like, hold on a second, everybody. I have something to say. Give me St. Mary's.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, Alabama, and then is this a team or a person? Robert Morris. Whatever. Who cares? Give me Alabama.
Yeah, Bama.
all right. I will say, if you want to pick a 15 over a 2, I feel like this is the one you got to do it with. I mean, I feel like Alabama, they're probably not the worst 2 seed, but Robert Morris, in my opinion, is the best 15 seed. So, you know what? I'm going to do it. Give me Alabama.
Dang.
Okay. But you said give me Alabama, so that does mean you're picking Alabama to win?
Yeah, I'm picking Alabama. I'm not I'd be stupid to pick Robert Morris. I mean, if you want to, I'm just saying, if you want to pick a 15 over a 2, I'd probably take the Alabama or Robert Morris over Bama, but I still think Alabama will win.
I will say that I agree with that. I do think Robert Morris will actually give them a game win.
Okay, bet. All right, next up into our Midwest bracket. We got Houston versus who cares? Houston gets the win.
Yeah.
Houston. Yeah, Houston.
For those of you listening and not watching, they're playing something called Edwardsville, so there you go.
Yeah.
SIU Edwardsville. Like,
yeah.
When did they become a D1 team?
Yeah, points
a couple years ago.
Yeah.
I think it's Southern Illinois University, Edwardsville, I think.
Yeah, that's what it is. None the way, we got the Battle of the Bulldogs in the next one.
Goob just said totally finished my totally realistic bracket. Looking forward to seeing how that pans out.
Yeah, let me guess. You picked all the lower seeds. You got SIU Edwardsville winning the national championship.
Or maybe he's got A&M winning it.
Edwardsville, the Final Four team, sure. All right,
right.
How about this one? Gonzaga versus Georgia. Two Bulldogs going at it with each other. Let's give a hand to Georgia real quick. They finally managed after 20-something years to finally make it back to the NCAA tournament. Looks like they aren't as much of a one-sport school as I thought they were. They're still a one-sport school, so give me Gonzaga.
Yeah, Gonzaga. They're playing really good right now. Georgia's gotten cold.
Yeah, Gonzaga's winning the dogfight.
All right, next up we got Clemson. The Clemson Tigers battling it out against McNeese. Tough battle here. McNeese playing pretty good basketball. Clemson also playing pretty good basketball. I love my Clemson fans, but I'm sorry. I've just got a feeling about this one. Give me McNeese over Clemson.
I got Clemson.
Yeah, I have Clemson too, but I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I also have Clemson.
All right, next up we got Purdue versus High Point. And I already picked one upset, so I'm gonna side with another here, and I'm gonna say the Boilermakers. Hold on in a tough one against High Point to get the W.
Give me High Point.
Yep, saw that coming.
Yeah, I have High Point. I think High Point's a good team.
I'm with Squid. I got Purdue.
All right, next up on the list, Texas or Xavier versus Illinois. In a surprising twist of events, we don't know which team is going to be fighting against Illinois, but I think both of these teams could put up a good fight against this Illinois team. In fact, I'm going to side with one of them to get the W over Illinois, so there you go.
I think I'm actually going to take Illinois on this one.
Yeah, I think I have Illinois. I had Illinois.
Yeah, I got Illinois.
Gotcha. All right, next up we got our favorite, the Kentucky Wildcats, lords of the Zero Final Fours talk, versus Troy. So
give me Troy.
I will say though, to be fair, I could see Troy winning this because if you think about it, every single year in the first round, when we all think that Kentucky isn't going to lose, they lose. Like, we didn't think they was going to lose to St. Peter's. Guess what? They lost to them. We didn't think they was going to lose to Oakland. They lost to them.
Please do not mention me about 2017, but I'm still taking Kentucky.
I still think it's the cause of John Calipari, so give me the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Well, Mark Pope has never made an NCAA tournament, so we don't know how he coaches in the tournament.
Well, I think he'll coach better.
I'm rooting for you, Troy. Please put them out.
Please.
But I got Kentucky.
All right, tough bout here. UCLA and Utah State. This is going to be a tough game, I think. Both of these teams look really good. But Utah State right now, again, another lethal team here in the tournament. I'm going to take them over UCLA.
Yeah, same. I got Utah State.
I have UCLA.
I also have UCLA.
All right, next up, the final game of the first round. Tennessee and Wofford, the Volunteers stuck in that final spot as always. So, yeah, I think this will go just like all the others. Give me the Volunteers over Wofford.
Yeah, Tennessee beats the Granny Shot Merchant.
There you go.
I'm taking Wofford. Nah, I'm kidding. I'm taking Tennessee.
Yeah, I had Tennessee too.
All right.
Next up, we're going to go up, and now it's time for the second round. Auburn versus Creighton. So starting out with this game, again, I think the Auburn Tigers right now are just too good to lose this early. Give me them over Creighton.
Yeah, same. I got Auburn as well.
Yeah, give me Auburn.
I had Louisville, but I have Auburn winning.
Gotcha. All right, next up, Michigan versus Yale. This is going to be a tough bout for anybody since Ivy League schools are always known to give all these teams a little bit of hell. I don't think Yale will get 2 in a row, though. I've got Michigan winning that one.
Yeah, I think Danny Wolf will get a W against his former team in Yale. Michigan playing too good right now. I got Michigan.
I had UC San Diego versus Yale, and I had Yale winning. To set up a rematch versus Yale versus Auburn.
Oh my God.
Great. Looking forward to that.
I had Michigan winning it.
Gotcha. All right. Ole Miss versus Lipscomb. Lipscomb, another team that got an upset against Ole Miss. Guess what? The Cinderella run continues. Lipscomb over Ole Miss, baby. Let's go.
All right. Well, here I had Ole Miss versus Iowa State, and in that matchup, I'd pick Iowa State. But if I had to pick the matchup between Ole Miss and Lipscomb, I'd probably take Ole Miss.
Let's see. I had, if I remember correctly, I had Ole Miss versus Iowa State, and then I think I had Iowa State, if I remember correctly. I can't look on my thing, and then yeah. So that's it.
Yeah, in this match I also had Ole Miss versus Iowa State, and I picked Iowa State to win it. But if I was picking between Ole Miss and Lipscomb, I'm taking Ole Miss.
Julio, turn off the 1920s radio.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're good. All right, then. Next up on the list, we got New Mexico and Michigan State. And again, tough one here. I talked about how New Mexico is really red hot after their performance. And not only that, but they are a true Cinderellas. This is one of their best years in a very, very long time. That run will continue. New Mexico over Michigan State.
All right. Well, here I had Marquette versus Michigan State, and in that matchup, I'd take Michigan State.
Yeah, I also had Marquette versus Michigan State, and I also took Michigan State. But if I was picking that game between New Mexico and Michigan State, I would still pick Michigan State.
Gotcha. All right, next up, moving back into the West, Florida versus. Oh, actually, Julio, you were you gonna give yours? Oh, okay, I guess not. All right, next up, we got Florida versus UConn. The Florida Gators.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I was.
Oh my God!
If they get done freezing. Okay, but I had New Mexico versus what was it? It was New Mexico versus Michigan or Iowa State, and I had New Mexico winning, setting up Yale versus New Mexico in the Elite Eight.
Gotcha. All right. Next up, Florida versus UConn, back in the West Division. Florida rolls over UConn. I think it'll be a close game at the end, but I do think Florida will get the dub.
Yeah, same. I got Florida.
Florida.
All right, next up, Memphis versus Maryland. Tough bout here. Memphis and Maryland, two pretty good teams. But I think Maryland, in a very close game, gets the W and goes on to face
Oh, wait,
Florida.
No, I had UConn. Sorry, I had UConn.
Okay.
You had UConn beating Florida? That's crazy. But in that round of 32 matchup, I actually had Memphis versus Grand Canyon, where I picked Memphis to beat Grand Canyon and Memphis to move on to Sweet 16.
Yeah, I also had Memphis versus Grand Canyon in this matchup, but I'm saying the Cinderella continues. I'm taking Grand Canyon.
Gotcha. All right, next up, Drake versus Texas Tech. The Red Raiders still going to remain red hot. I'm taking them to move on. And then before you guys give your pick on who's in the Elite Eight, I'll just go ahead and do these real quick. Kansas versus St. John's. The Jayhawks, like I said, they're just one of those teams you can always count on to get pretty far in most cases, so I'm taking the Jayhawks there. Now tell me your Elite Eight pick right here.
You mean Sweet 16 pick?
Or Sweet 16, yeah. Blah, 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 blah,
Yeah.
But yes,
I actually got Drake over Texas Tech.
All right.
And then I got St. John's over Kansas.
Okay. Gotcha.
I have Texas Tech over Drake, and I also have Arkansas over St. John's. But then I have Texas Tech advancing to the Elite Eight, beating Arkansas.
I had Texas Tech versus St. John's, and then I had St. John's winning.
Gotcha. All right, next up. You don't have to tell me who wins. You can move on once we get into the. You can tell me when we get to the Elite Eight who's going to win those Sweet 16 games. All right. But so back to the second round here. Duke versus Baylor. Again, the Blue Devils are just too talented, I think, to lose this early. So give me them. All right. Liberty versus Arizona. Another one of these Cinderellas, I think, is going to go way further than what people expect. Give me Liberty or give me death. And I choose Liberty, obviously, for now. All right, so tell me who's going to be here in the Sweet 16 spot.
All right. I actually had Duke versus Mississippi State, but of course that doesn't really matter because we both got Duke moving on to the Sweet 16. And then I actually picked Liberty, like you, to beat Arizona. So, yeah.
All right, nice.
Because give me Liberty or give me death. Liberty, 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 Liberty.
Oh my God, shut up. All right. So anyways, I also had Duke versus Baylor in this matchup, but like you, Squid, I picked Duke. And then I had Oregon versus Arizona in this matchup, but like you, Squid, I picked Arizona to lose. So I picked Oregon to beat Arizona.
I picked Duke over Oregon.
All right.
1 second.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. Next up, BYU versus Wisconsin. I think we've had a matchup like this before. I just remember it from somewhere, but might have been last year's bracket. Point still stands. I think BYU is a really hot team. I think they're one of the strongest offensive forces, and I just think this is a bad setup for Wisconsin. So give me BYU in that game. And then SEC game right here, Vanderbilt versus Alabama. As funny it would be to pick Vandy here. I think that this force that Alabama has is just going to be too much for the Commodores to handle. Give me the Crimson Tide. All right, who y'all got?
All right, for here, I had Wisconsin versus VCU, which I had Wisconsin moving on to the Sweet 16, and then I had Alabama beating St. Mary's to move on to the Sweet 16.
I had let's see, I had VCU versus Alabama, and I had Alabama winning.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I had VCU taking on Montana, and I picked VCU to win. And then I had St. Mary's taking on Alabama, and I picked Alabama to win that game.
Yes. Just real quick, we are getting short on time, so just to save a little bit, just when we get to these games and I ask y'all who's there, just say like who's facing who. You don't need to say who's beating who, if that makes sense. All right, next up we got Houston versus Gonzaga. So starting out, we've got again. This is going to be a tough one right here, but again, just like the other one seeds, they're just too talented to lose this early. So give me Houston, and then McNeese versus Purdue. As cold as Purdue has been as of recently, I think the Boilermakers hold on to face Houston. All right, who y'all got here?
Well, Houston moving on to the Sweet 16 and Clemson moving on to the Sweet 16.
Yeah, I had Houston and Clemson.
Yeah, I also had Houston and Clemson.
All right, gotcha. Y'all are really high on Clemson, it seems. All right, then finally, Texas or Xavier versus Kentucky. And considering we may not even know who's there, we don't even know who's going to be there, I've got to take Kentucky. And then Utah State versus Tennessee is going to set up a very, very interesting Sweet 16 matchup. So who y'all got making it there?
I got Tennessee and Illinois making the Sweet 16.
I had Kentucky and Tennessee making it to the Sweet 16.
All right.
Julio.
I guess he agrees.
Julio, you there?
No, oh, sorry. Okay, I thought my thing was going to be Tennessee Clemson on mine.
Gotcha. All right, then. Moving on. Here's the Sweet 16. Auburn versus Michigan. This is going to be a really close game, I think. Michigan, obviously a hot team after their performance in the championship game. That's going to continue. And Auburn, of course, still a really talented team. This is where one of the one seeds fall. I'm taking Michigan over Auburn.
I like it. I like it.
And then finally, over on this side, Lipscomb versus New Mexico. One of these Cinderellas gets to move on to the Elite Eight. Lipscomb had a really good run up till now, but New Mexico, I think the Lobos are going to continue to roll. Give me New Mexico. Who y'all got here in the Elite Eight?
In the Elite Eight, I was just going to say, in the Elite Eight, I actually had Auburn versus Michigan State.
I had Yale versus Iowa State.
Oh wow, I had Auburn versus Iowa State.
All right, gotcha. Moving down here, we got Florida versus Maryland. The Florida Gators, still a really hot team. I think it's going to be too much for Maryland to handle. Give me the Gators there. And then Texas Tech versus Kansas. This is going to be a really fun game to watch as both of these teams are hot. But I think Texas Tech right now is still an elite draw for anybody. Give me the Red Raiders there. Who y'all got here in this spot?
Yeah.
I had UConn versus St. John's. And then I had St. John's winning.
Okay.
Yeah, I had Florida versus St. John's in the Elite Eight.
I had Florida versus Texas Tech.
Okay, so hey, look, as we agree on that. All right, nice. All right, Duke versus Liberty. Oh man, this is gonna be a tough one for me because I really, really want to pick Liberty, but I think Duke is the one shining turd amongst the ACC. So give me the Blue Devils there. And then BYU versus Alabama. Bama's looked like a pretty good team. Julio, please turn off your mic again. We got to get that shit fixed again. Anyway, back to the whole BYU thing. I don't think Alabama's prepared for the Mormon storm that's a coming. So give me BYU in that game to move on to the Elite Eight. Who you got in this spot?
Yeah, in the Elite Eight, I got Duke versus Wisconsin.
I got Duke versus Bama.
Yeah, Duke versus Alabama.
All right, gotcha. Okay, moving on to this final spot here. Houston versus Purdue. Houston, I think, again, they're just a really talented squad. Going to be a hard draw for anybody. I'm taking Houston over Purdue. I don't think they have the power to beat them. And then Kentucky versus Tennessee. Oh, man. Well, obviously, the battered ball syndrome of me inside me wants to go with Kentucky here. But considering the fact that Tennessee has already lost to this team twice, I think they're going to be motivated well enough to, in a very close game, get the jump over Kentucky because I think they're playing better basketball right now. Give me Tennessee over Kentucky. Who y'all got in these?
Yeah, same. I got Houston versus Tennessee in the Elite Eight.
I also got Houston versus Tennessee.
Got Tennessee versus Clemson.
Oh,
dang. Okay.
Damn! Almost all four of us had an agreement on that Elite Eight.
All right, here we go. Now for the Elite Eight: Michigan versus New Mexico. Again, this is a tough draw. This is going to be a really fun game to watch because both of these two teams are going to be riding high, having a really good year. Oh man, this is going to be a really, really tough one. But you know what I think? I think this is really my Cinderella team, man. New Mexico over Michigan. They'll move on to the Final Four. And then over here, Florida versus Texas Tech in the West. Going to be a really tough game, I think. Florida in a really tough spot. So is Texas Tech. They're a really good team as well. Man, it's going to be really, really tough, but I'm taking the Gators in a close one over Texas Tech. Who y'all got in this first spot in the Final Four?
I got Auburn versus Florida.
Dang, I can't hear Squid.
What?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
We can hear you.
Okay, I don't know. I can't hear Squid.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could hear.
I can hear him.
I can't. His thing's like black on mine. I don't know.
That's weird.
But yeah, he had New Mexico and Florida making the Final Four. Who do you?
I had Iowa State, St. John's.
I would say St. John's. All right.
I had Auburn and Florida.
Gotcha. All right. Well, what a day it is, huh? Another day, another Julio glitching the mic. And on another Julio technical glitch. All right. Next up, Duke versus BYU. Again, this is another tough game here. BYU, in my opinion, another really hot team. And if I've gotten them this far, I might as well let their run continue. I'm taking the Cougars over the Blue Devils and another big-time upset. They'll move on to the Final Four. And then finally, Houston versus Tennessee. I love my Vols. I love the work that they've done this year, but I think this is where they crumble. I don't think their offense has the potential to keep up with Houston in the long run. So I'm taking the Cougars over Tennessee, unfortunately. Who y'all got in this last spot of the Final Four?
I actually got Duke versus Tennessee in the Final Four.
Yeah, same thing. Duke, Tennessee.
I got Alabama versus Houston.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. Now for the Final Four games. New Mexico versus Florida. Again, New Mexico, the Cinderella team. Really, really good year so far, but Florida's a red-hot team. It is going to be hard for anybody to beat them. So I'm taking Florida against New Mexico. And then over here, BYU versus Houston. The Cougars, like I said, really good squad. Going to be fighting all the way down to the wire, as well as Houston. A very, very tough draw, I think, for anybody, including BYU. But I've got to ride with somebody. I can't just take 2 1 seeds. So BYU beats Houston, setting up the national championship as Florida versus BYU. The Florida Gators and the BYU Cougars. What a match this is going to be. And before you guys give your take on who's making it and who's winning it all, I'll tell you who I've got winning it all. To all my Gator fans in here, you're welcome. You can thank me right now by buying the merch. But I've got Florida winning the entire thing. And a tie-breaking score of I've got 89 to 82.
All right, well, in my national championship, I got Florida versus Houston, or not Florida versus Duke. That's what I got, Florida versus Duke. And then I got Florida winning the national championship. They're just playing really good right now.
I had Duke versus St. John's, and I had Duke winning 69 to 67.
Poor Ian he can't stop getting interrupted. That's me. We're doing a show.
Exactly. I'm always.
So sorry, I didn't hear him.
No, you're good.
No, you didn't interrupt them.
All right,
Is it my pick?
Yeah, it's your pick.
All right. So, I got Florida and Alabama in the national championship game, and it pains me to say this, but I got Alabama winning it all by a score of 89 to 80.
Well, there you
I'll
go.
kill myself.
We almost had the exact same score prediction. We almost had it.
I put 89 to 82, dadgummit. There we go. Finish bracket. Yay! I picked Florida to win it this year. I'm so happy about that. Yay! I'm so happy about it.
Yeah.
Woo! You can tell how happy I am, can't you? You can just tell how happy I am that I've got Florida winning it. This is my honest reaction. Wrong one.
Why, man? Why? My day is now ruined. My day is now ruined.
You knew I had to play it. Should I make that a stinger? Or not a stinger, but ooh, I got a better one. Let's make that into merch.
No,
yes, that's a good idea. That is a good idea. That is a good idea. You should definitely do it.
Nobody wants to buy merch of me. Literally, nobody does.
I would.
I would too.
What, dude? You know what? Screw it. If you would make merch of me, I already know it would be probably the highest selling merch out there.
Well, so far there is no highest selling merch from my analysis. I don't think I've sold anything yet.
Obviously, you just started it up.
Oh, don't forget, you also got to make a shirt of this. You got to make a shirt of this too.
What does he even do?
What does he even do?
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, guys. Well, there you got it. Those are all of our predictions. Unfortunately, I've got Florida winning it. Hopefully, that doesn't live to tell the tale. Hopefully, Tennessee gets a W over Houston and then moves into the Final Four. Again, that was totally my unbiased pick. If I was biased like I am every other stream, I would have just picked Tennessee to make it all. And yes, young man Connor, he did make that meme. He did make this right here. Hold on. Yes, this was made by young man Connor, so shout out to him for that. Yeah, and or for Lucas's case, you can blame him for that. Let's see, Arctic Phoenix 27. I could see Florida winning it all. I almost picked them beating Michigan State in the Final Four. Yeah, a lot. I mean, just like every other Final Four, this is a completely unpredictable tournament. Nobody ever knows what's going to happen. So just keep your fingers crossed and hope for the best. That's the way it should go.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Well, appreciate you all being on here as always. Ian, I forgot to drop your channel link in the description. So if you've got it on you, you want me to drop that in the chat, and then I'll put it.
Yeah,
in the description?
I'm gonna send it to you real quick.
Gotcha. Send it in the private chat if you could, and so then I can just drop it into the live chat.
Yeah, I got you. Hang on, let me exit full screen.
I will tell you guys that Ian the Hyper does do some pretty funny content over on his channel. He made a YouTube poop about Lucas Sharp, which was absolutely hilarious. But I highly recommend checking that out if you're a fan of watching Lucas be a clown. But highly recommend seeing that. It's great stuff. It's great stuff.
All right, I'm sending my channel link in the private chat right now.
Gotcha.
There you go.
All right. Thank you very much, good sir. I'll go ahead and paste it here in the live chat. So if y'all would, go ahead and check out Mr. Ian the Hyper over there. Makes some great content. You can tell by Lucas's reaction that he loves it. And
yeah, he definitely loves that YTP I made. He definitely loves it.
You can tell by his face.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I appreciate all of you guys for being on here as always. Ian, before we end off the stream, what you got going over there on your channel?
Right now, nothing. I don't have anything planned uploaded, but I do want to say thank you for having me on here. I really appreciate it, and hopefully I will make more appearances soon.
Yeah, I'm glad you're on here, man. And before we put an end to the stream, I got to ask you one thing since we didn't have the time to do it. What do you think? How do you think LSU is going to do in football this year? What's your record? What's the record you think they got?
All right, so this year, let me check the schedule. Oops, misspelled that. 2025. Let me see.
Jemai Meshek saying, if we lose to Wolford, I would be Lucas right now.
I could see us going 8-4 this year. 8-4.
8-4. Goob says 9-3, somewhere around that range. I don't see you guys getting any further with that as long as Burger King is your coach. I just really don't.
Yeah. Honestly, I thought we would have a really good future with him ever since 2022, where we beat Alabama in that year. I also went to that game and stormed the field at that game. In case you want to check out that video, it's one of my most popular videos on the channel. You can go check that out. And but ever since 2024 occurred, things have just gone downhill all of a sudden. Even though our quarterback Garrett Nussmeier is one of the favorites to win the Heisman this year, I don't know if I could see that happening. But I do think he will have a pretty decent year.
All right, y'all heard the man. That's what he thinks about LSU this year. So, Ian, glad to have you on, buddy. Appreciate you for being here on the Vol-Star podcast. We'll be glad to have you on at any other time. So, stick around here on Squidtard Sports. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for coming here on.
Thanks for having me on here.
All right, guys. Well, let's go ahead and put an end to the stream. But before we let these two take us out of here, if you guys want to go ahead and join the, and I'm gonna leave a post about it over on the, over in the channel posts. But I've got, of course, the tournament bracket. If you guys want to jump in on that, make your tournament bracket. The winner will get a free Cool and Good hat. So there you go. All right, Lucas, Julio, take us out the show.
I guess go Vols and tighten up. Get ready for March Madness. I mean, hopefully we beat Wofford and beat ETSU come tomorrow night, and hopefully we draft the right person come April.
Oh, all I was gonna say was go Vols. Hopefully we can finally make that Final Four run and get the monkey off our back. Hopefully.
It's happening
hopefully
now.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah.
If we
And
make
then
it to the Sweet
hopefully
16, we'll be able to talk about it here on the show.
Yeah. And then hopefully we also keep our win streak alive in baseball, because I do not want it to fall to Alabama of all teams, or even ETSU.
Right. All right, guys. Appreciate y'all for being on here. You're all great people. Again, we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow, or not tomorrow. Well, we'll see some of you tomorrow over on the main channel for Tard Area Tuesdays, and then we'll see y'all again on Saturday for the Dynasty stream. Appreciate all of y'all for being here as always, and until next time, we'll see you again. And power to Tard Area, and of course, go Vols, and let's win a Final Four this time.